Hearty welcome to all my dear students. In this beautiful time, I wanted to capture your minds to a new chapter, and the name of the chapter is Social Institutions, Continuity and Change. I hope all my dear students are learning well, even though the situation is a challenging one. Again, I request all my dear students to keep learning for your better future. I request all my dear students to take the book and take the page number, I would say 42. Please take the page number 42. Name of the chapter, Social Institutions, Continuity and Change. Name of the book, Indian Society. This is the third chapter given in the book named Indian Society. The first paragraph deals with introduction to the chapter. So, the first paragraph focuses on introduction to the chapter. First point, we can say population is not just a collection of unrelated people. It is a society with distinct but interlinked classes and communities sustained and controlled by social institution and social relationship. We can understand the meaning of population. Population means this is not just collection of unrelated people. What do you mean by unrelated people? Unrelated people means in our society there are different types of people. People who belong to different religion, people who speak different language, people who belong to different families. So, society is not, or population is not just collection of different people. It is a society. Population is a society with the distinct means different, but interlinked classes. Our society is divided into different classes. Higher class is there, middle class is there, lower class is there, and which are controlled by social institution like caste. Caste is the social institution which controls the different types of system can be seen in our society, and also controlled by social relationships. In a class, especially the upper class, middle class, lower class, there are people who are related. In upper class, there are people who are having a relationship. Middle class people are having relationships, and lower class also people are related to one another. And in this chapter we can study three institutions named caste, tribe and family. These are the three important institutions that we are going to study from this chapter, and these institutions are central to Indian society. Indian society is existing because of these three institutions, namely caste, tribe and family. Now you can go to 3.1, caste and the caste system. We can understand in this paragraph, we can understand some important points. Caste is a social institution. We know that caste controls our society. It is a social institution and part of Indian society, and it started around what we can say 3000 years ago. And this chapter gives us mainly about the caste in the past and the caste in the present. This is all about the what we can say introductory section for this chapter. First, we have studied meaning of population. Population is not just collection of people. It is a society where different classes are there. They are interlinked, controlled by social institution and social relationships. Second, we have studied caste is a social institution central to Indian society, and in this chapter we are going to study mainly about caste in the past and caste in the present. This is introductory, that's why in a speedy way I am going. Now we can move to the first paragraph given under 3.1. First paragraph which is given under the title Caste and Caste System. We know that caste is uniquely associated with Indian subcontinent. It means caste can be seen mainly in Indian subcontinent. This is the system which can be seen uniquely in Indian subcontinent, and society has been arranged almost same everywhere in this world. Wherever you go, we can see social divisions. We can see classes. Upper class is there, middle class is there, lower class is there. Everywhere in this world, we can see this social system. And though exact form of caste cannot be found anywhere, wherever you go, we cannot find exact system of a genuine system of caste. Usually it associates with Hindu religion, spread to other religions like Christian, Muslims and Sikh. This is another important thing. Mainly we can associate caste with the Hindu religion. It was in the past. After that, caste spreads to other religions like Christianity, Muslim and Sikh. In these, what we can say religion, we can see or caste is associated with. Here we have studied caste is uniquely associated with Indian subcontinent. The society everywhere in this world has some similarity. Middle class is there, upper class is there, lower class is there, and the exact form of, the genuine form of the caste cannot be seen anywhere. Last point we have discussed an important point. This is caste is mainly associated with the Hindu religion. Later it spreads to Christianity, Muslim and Sikh. The second paragraph under the main title Caste and the Caste System, which concentrates on the point what we can say the caste. Now we can move to next paragraph. Next paragraph means what? Caste, origin and meaning. So far we have discussed introduction to this chapter, then caste and caste system, then about caste. Now we have studied, and the next paragraph deals with the caste, origin and meaning. This is very important. Here, according to importance, I am making the paragraph teaching you in a speedy way. If it is very important, I will explain it more. If it is less important, means what? I will teach you in a speedy way. Please concentrate. This paragraph is very important because it gives you origin and meaning of the term caste. First point, the English word caste. Caste is an English word which is borrowed from, which is taken from the Portuguese term. From the Portuguese term casta, we borrowed the English word caste, which means pure breed. This is the meaning of the term caste. Caste is an English word which means pure breed, and the word caste is taken from Portuguese word casta, which means pure breed. The term refers to the institutional arrangement in our society. I already told you that caste is an institution, can be seen in our society. In Indian languages, especially ancient Sanskrit, the term refers to Varna and Jadi. Another important thing, Varna and Jadi, this is Sanskrit word. In Indian languages, the term caste refers to Varna and Jati, especially Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, one of the Indian languages, the term refers to Varna and Jati. And Varna means color. We have to understand the word Varna. Varna means color. Given to the fourfold divisions of society into Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. In our society, people are divided on the basis of Varna or color. They are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. But there are foreigners, slaves, conquered people and other excluded from this, so that there are other people except Brahmanas, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. They are conquered people and they are foreigners, they are slaves. They are not included in these four divisions. And the term Jadi, Varna means color. Now we can move to the next word, Jadi. Jadi means, it's a generic form. Generic form means what? A collective form. There is a collection. Jadi means a collective form, meaning species or kind of anything, both inanimate and animate. Inanimate means things having no life. Animate means having life. Animals, human beings. In Indian languages, it means to be institution of caste, but Indian started to use the English word caste. Even though we are having languages like Sanskrit where the caste means Varna and Jadi, mainly we are using the English word caste. This is very interesting. We are not ready to use our own languages to refer to caste. We are using English word. So the language English influenced us more. In this paragraph, we have studied the origin of the word caste, which is borrowed from Portuguese casta, means pure breed. Then in Indian, one of the Indian languages in Sanskrit, which refers to Jadi and Varna. Varna means color. On the basis of that, our society is divided into four divisions. Then Jadi means what? A generic form or collective form where we can see different types of things are there, species are there, kind of anything, inanimate or animate, animals are there and human beings are there. Then now we can move to the page number 42, the last paragraph of 42 and the first paragraph of 43 I wanted to join and teach you. I wanted to join these two paragraphs given in the last 42 and the first 43. These paragraphs I wanted to join. So we can understand that there has been some debate over the relationship between Varna and Jati. Now I am teaching from page number 42. I also wanted to teach you from the page number 43, first paragraph to this paragraph, means last paragraph of 42 and the first paragraph of 43 are joined, and I wanted to teach you from that. And there are some debates on the basis of the relationship between Varna and Jati. The term Varna interpreted to classification of Indian society. I already taught you that Indian society is classified into four on the basis of color. Two broad divisions. These are the divisions in a broad way. Broad means what? General way. Generally, or in a broad way, broadly, Indian society is divided into four divisions on the basis of color, whereas Jati is likely to be classification confining to region involving much more complexes. When we compare or when we find out the relationship between Varna and Jati, we can find out a contrast also. What is the contrast? What we can say, Varna means it is a general classification of the whole Indian society into four. Jati means classification limited to regions. This is the difference between what we can say Varna and Jati. Now, page number 43, the paragraph we can move to. Please take the page number 43. There are some different opinions on the exact age of caste system. In the previous paragraph we have studied, there are some debate over the relationship between Jati and Varna. In the next paragraph given in the page number 43, we can see there are different opinions about exact age. What is the age of caste? There is a general agreement that it started roughly 3000 years ago. This is a rough, it means not so clear. There is no much clarity in this. It says that caste started 3000 years ago, and the same system did not continue for 3000 years. It means when it started, it has another characteristics, another features. When it continues in our society, there were some changes happening to caste. Still, caste system is there in our society, but which has difference from that of the past. There is a difference between the past caste and the present caste. In this way, the 3000 years we cannot see the same type of caste. As the system showed difference in different time periods, the caste system was merely a Varna system with four divisions. In earliest phase, roughly between 900 to 500 BC, it was in the Vedic period. We have caste system in the Vedic period. The time period was 900 to 500 BC. There was a caste system. This is a different type of caste system which was existing during Vedic period, which started from 900 BC to 500 BC. The division during this time was not so rigid. When the caste system started, or the caste system during Vedic period was not so strict, was not so rigid, because the reason is that the caste was not determined by birth. Now we know that if you are born into an upper caste, until die we have to continue to exist in this caste. We cannot change the caste. There is no choice for changing from one caste to another caste. Today, caste system is very rigid, but in the past, during Vedic period, it was not so rigid because it was not determined by birth. It is in the post-Vedic period. After Vedic period, caste became a rigid social institution. During Vedic period, it was not so rigid because during that time, caste was not determined by birth. After Vedic period, changes happened society. What was the change? Caste system became rigid. In which way it became rigid? If you are born into a caste, throughout your life you have to continue. It means you cannot change your caste once you are born into a particular caste. And this is all about what we can say this paragraph. Now we can move to another important thing. I request you to one important thing. The next I wanted to teach you is the second answer of the second question. What are some of the rules that the caste system imposes? Page number 60, we can see second question. What are the rules the caste system imposes? So, during question answer section, I will not come back to this. Now, all of you, I request all of you, note down this. You have to understand that the things I am going to teach you next is the answer for the question given in the page number 60, second question. The most cited defining features of caste, very important thing. Defining features of caste. There are 6 cited defining features of caste. First one, caste is determined by birth. I already told you that caste is rigid. The present caste system is rigid because the present caste is determined by birth. What do you mean by this? The parental caste is possessed by the child. He cannot leave or join to another caste. This is all about the first defining feature of the caste. What is that? Caste cannot be caste is determined by birth. Caste is determined by birth because it means the parental caste is possessed by the child. He cannot leave his parental caste or join into another caste. The second one, caste groups are endogamous. Caste groups are endogamous. What do you mean by endogamous? It means one should get married within the caste. Endogamous means what? You have to get married from within the caste. You don't have any choice to get married from anybody from any other caste. Third one, caste membership involves strict rules regarding food and food sharing. There are some strict rules imposed by the particular caste regarding food, what type of food we have to eat, what type of food we have to consume. There are particular rules. A person who belongs to a particular caste, he has to follow regarding having food and food sharing. What type of food is taken, which is prescribed, and sharing of food with others is also specified. There are some rules regarding eating food and sharing food. Now, fourth one, caste system involves a hierarchy of rank and status. Very important one. In our society, different caste is there which has hierarchy and rank and status. What do you mean by hierarchy of rank and status? Every caste group has a particular position in the hierarchy. Hierarchy means what? There is an order. Higher caste is there, middle caste is there, lower caste is there. This is the order in the hierarchy, and the position can vary, especially in the middle rank from region to region. There are different regions in India, so the middle rank can be different in different, what we can say, region. But most important thing you have to understand that there are positions given to a particular caste. Upper caste has a particular position in the ladder system. There is a ladder system from highest to lowest. The highest is possessed by the upper caste and the lowest is possessed by the lower caste. So there is a hierarchy. In hierarchy there are castes with the different positions. Then fifth one, the caste system involves subdivisions. It means caste consists of subcaste. There are in upper caste also there are some subcaste, and in subcaste also there are subcaste. In upper caste there are subdivisions. In subdivision also there are subdivisions. This is all about the fifth feature of the caste. Then sixth one, they were traditionally linked to occupations. What do you mean by that? This is very important. A person born into a particular caste can practice only the occupation associated with a particular caste. If you are born into a particular caste, you have to do the job associated with the particular caste you were born into. And anyone or any other caste cannot practice occupation of, it means what, belonging to other caste. We cannot practice, a person who was born into a particular caste cannot practice the, what we can say, occupation belonging to any other caste. These are the 6 defining features of the caste. The question answer for the second question, what are some of the rules that caste system imposes? Now we can move to the page number 44. The first paragraph, what we can say, is concentrating on the topic. We have studied introduction, caste and caste system. Again we have studied about caste origin and meaning, varna and jati, then different opinions about caste. 7th one we have studied features of the caste. There are 6 features of the caste. Now we can move to next one, ideas on features. Now we can take some ideas on the features of the caste. This is the continuation of the previous paragraph. It means ideologically or same ideas are there. The features of the caste are prescribed rules given in the ancient scriptural text. Scriptural means what? Holy books. Different religions are having different holy books. There are some rules which are given in holy books regarding particular caste. As the rules are not always practiced, it is not sure that how the rules are meaningful to the life of people lived during that time. There are some rules prescribed in the holy books regarding caste, and there are people who are not following the rules. So, rules are having no meaning to the life of people who are not following the rules. Most of the prescriptions involves restrictions of various kinds. If you are belonging to a particular caste, there are some rules, but rules are very strict. That's why people are not ready to obey that. So the rules are having no meaning to the life of people who belong to different caste, because the rules are very strict. Through the historical evidence, we can say that caste was an unequal institution. Another important point, caste has been an unequal institution. There are upper caste, middle caste, lower caste is there. And upper caste is privileged, lower caste is not privileged. So caste institution is unequal. There is no equality in caste system. And which benefited by some. The upper caste people and the middle caste people, somewhat they can get the benefit from the caste. That of the lower caste, they are not getting any benefit because they are not having proper position and status in the society. Through historical already we have studied that, and the people who belong to lower caste, they are subjected to discrimination. They are discriminated, they are rejected. That's why only few people are, what we can say, benefited from the caste. As it is, what we can say, rigid, determined by birth. I already told you that if you are born into upper caste, you can be happy because upper caste is privileged and there are positions and status for the caste. If you are born into lower caste, as it is not privileged, you cannot change your caste into another caste because caste is determined by birth. A person has to continue to lead a life of either privileged. If you are born into an upper caste, entire life will be privileged. If you are born into a lower caste, entire life will be discriminated as you are born into a lower caste. This is the first paragraph in the page number 44. Now we can move to the second paragraph given in the page number 44. What is the important point in that? We can say there are some principles regarding caste. In the previous paragraph, we have studied ideas on features. In the second paragraph given in the page number 44, we are going to study about some of the principles regarding caste. There are two sets of principles for understanding caste system. There are two sets. In one set, two are there. Second set, two are there. That's why two sets. There are two sets of principles for understanding caste system. The first sets are based on difference and separation, and second one based on holism and hierarchy. I request all my dear students to concentrate. I wanted to tell you that this is the answer for the first question. I am reading the question. What is the role of the ideas of separation and hierarchy in the caste system? Again, I wanted to tell you that in the page number 60, the first question is there. I am reading the question. What is the role of the ideas of separation and hierarchy in the caste system? You have to note down this. I am going to give you answer. This is the answer for this question. There are two sets of principles for understanding caste system. First one based on difference and separation. Second set based on holism and hierarchy. Now I wanted to tell you the answer. Please listen. Each caste is different from one another, so they are separated. Each caste is separated because they are different. We all know that upper caste and middle class and lower caste, they are different and they are separated. There are scriptural rules designed to prevent mixing of caste. In upper caste there are some rules. Middle class, there are some rules. Lower class, there are some rules. Especially in upper class, there are some rules. Because of that, nobody can be mixed with the upper class. It means if you want to become part of upper class, it is not possible because there are some strict rules that prevent you from joining the upper class. And the differences can be seen in some of the systems like marriage, food sharing, social interaction, and occupation. People who belong to lower caste have some different what we can ceremonies for marriage, different types of food sharing, different types of social interaction, different types of occupation. People who belong to higher caste or upper caste, there are some differences in marriage, food sharing, social interaction, and occupation with that of the people who belong to middle caste and lower caste. Though they are different or separated, they do not have individual existence. The totality of the society is based on the relationship of each caste to a larger whole. In our society, upper caste is there, lower caste, middle caste is there, lower caste is there. Upper caste cannot exist alone in our society. That is the meaning. Middle class alone cannot exist in our society. The lower caste alone cannot exist in our society because Indian society as a whole, which is existing because of the presence of these three, it means upper caste, middle caste and lower caste. Because of that, Indian society is meaningful. We need upper caste, we need middle class or middle caste, and we need what we can say lower caste. Holism is there. Society as a whole, where three castes are different. That's why I told you that they don't have individual existence. All are connected, even though there are some differences. And then we can say that there is a hierarchy includes caste with a particular position. I told you that hierarchy means what? Our society is like a ladder system. There is a ladder of different rank and order. Higher caste at the top, lower caste at the lowest position. It is called hierarchy, and each caste has different or particular position, and there is ordered rank is there, lacking. So the hierarchy lacks egalitarian system. Egalitarian means what? All are equal. In Indian society, all are not equal. So caste is not an egalitarian system, because in Indian caste system, people who belong to different castes, they are not equal. They are not equally treated. Arranged like a ladder from highest to lowest. This is all about the second paragraph given in the page number 44, and this is the answer for the question which is given in the page number 60, first question. Now we can move to the third paragraph. This is also the answer for the first question given in the page number 60. What is the role of ideas of separation and hierarchy in the caste system? There are some differences between purity and pollution determined the hierarchical order. The caste belongs to what we can say, or the people who belong to higher caste, they are having different rituals. The caste belongs to the people who belong to lower caste, they are having different types of what we can say rituals. The rituals belonging to upper caste considered to be pure, or purity is there. That's why Brahmanas, difference between the Brahmanas, Shudra, difference is there. And there is a division between something believed to closer to ritual purity. Upper caste has or closeness. Upper caste is more close to purity. Something believed to be distant from it. The lower caste is not close to the purity of ritual. It is considered that the upper caste has closeness or more close to the ritual purity. Lower caste is not so close to ritual purity. Those castes having ritual purity means upper caste have high status. The caste which has ritual purity has high caste or high status, and those don't have ritual purity means they are having low status. In society, those groups have high economic or military power, they have high status, and those who don't have high economic and military power, they don't have high status, they are having low status. Some historians believe that those people who are defeated in the war, they are assigned low caste status. Those people who are defeated in the war, they are considered to be people who belong to low caste. And this is all about the answer for the question given in the page number 60, first question. The answer is over. I request all of you to write down. And this is all about what we can say for this session 1 of learning the chapter Social Institution, Continuity and Change. I request all of you take the page number 60. There are 2 questions. First 2 questions you have to give answer. Answer can be found or can be you can get the answer from the session 1. This session for writing the answer. Read the book and read again until you understand it. You have enough time, so make this time useful. God bless you. Thank you.